And we are streaming. So this is going to be session 1 of Hackmaster RPG. We were planning on recording session 0, or at least I was, without necessarily telling my players at that point, and I figured that by the time we'd started and how long convoluted it took, I decided not to bother with it. So, just an FYI, this is an unlisted stream, largely for convenience of recording, and also this allows me to basically decide if it's absolutely worthless at the end of the day, I can just ignore it. And if it turns out to be somewhat interesting, well, you're watching it, so clearly I figured at least something of this was interesting. Currently we only have 3 players. We are possibly seeking a couple more. I was hoping for 6. We have technically 3, with Anna potentially playing a 4th, although she's not very well today, so won't be taking part in this particular session. So, yeah, potential recruitment at the start of it. So, I'm going to stop here. Also, apologies if the audio is absolutely abysmal, because I've not done a lot of effort before this to make sure everything's going to be stable. We'll do what I can. But ultimately, we're just playing for our own benefit, and if it turns out to be interesting enough, hopefully for yours as well. So.
Hello, I am Alfonso Snoffler. I do not know where that voice came from.
Is that really the voice you're going to use for the entire campaign?
No.
Good.
I'm Alfonso Snowfly. I wound up somewhere here by talking, and my father was a man and my mother was a woman.
The detailed background. It's fine. If you haven't come up with something, that's absolutely fine. I haven't even really gone through where you are in the world and things at this point. But if you wanted to put any specifics down, I will try and incorporate that into it going forward. But if you want to think about that and do it later, that's fine.
That's about all.
Okay, moving on to Solar and your character then.
Okay, so my character's name is Zwei Arithmos for the number 2. Because
Don't mention the number 2!
Yeah, so the number 3 is what it means.
Yep, of
and
course.
I probably have a very intricate backstory, but I can't open the character sheet. All I remember...
Yeah, I can't open your character sheet either.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that.
All I remember is my parents were quite disappointing, so...
I'm gonna exit the game and I'll just rejoin, see if I can re-access it from that point, because it might just be a random issue on that end with Roll20. But I need to see your character sheet
as well. Yes, I would also like to see it. It'd be helpful.
All right, and finally, Dylan.
Wazo Brandagamba, the Gnome Titan. I sprung out of a hole in the ground, like all Gnome Titans. I was just born angry, and I'm here to smack things. I am small, bald, scarred, and pissed off.
Sounds about right. Hatching dragons, randomizing the dice rolls, sort of. This is taking a long time to load for me, so huzzah. Right, so, as for the setting and where you happen to be within the world, let's just move off here. I didn't actually put the larger world map here, so you're going to have to take a few things on trust with this one. Also, I didn't move you over, so whoop. So this is the Earldom of Melitar and the Earldom of Ryafor. And these are 2 earldoms within the relatively new kingdom of Bepalor, which is B''Pabor, which is the newest city-state in a realm which is commonly considered almost a wasteland in many ways. It's an independent city-state that is trying to establish itself and doing a reasonable job, if only because it controls all the river trade routes up to the kingdom in the north, whose name escapes me at the moment, because I have not got the details of it. That is rather bad of me. Still, the area is developing, mountainous, and fairly unforgiving. They have to import a lot of their food, but thankfully, there is a lot of iron, gold, and silver in the Endar Hills. And as such, a lot of small kingdoms and towers have been built up to try and protect all of the various mines and things that are littered across this landscape. Where there is gold and silver, and where there is opportunity, there are mercenaries. And this is kind of what you 3 have come up to do. You have moved to these lands for promise of gold from dealing with the roaming goblins, orcs, tribes that frequently attempt to attack the area. You have been on a coach up through Sabden to the small town, really. It's a small town, but it's probably one of the largest actual communities in this entire area of view. And you have, in that time, been put on the same coach together. You have been interacting for maybe a day or two. Some of you more so than others. Absolutely. That's what I was kind of waiting on. So you are at least familiar enough with each other and coming up for more or less the same purpose to have at least got the beginnings of, a group together in the name of profit. You have arrived at the border checkpoint for the town of View. It is a large sort of fortified town. Every town up here has to be fortified because of the various goblin raids. You have, in fact, seen your first set of corpses of goblins for a raid that apparently happened last week. They have yet to do anything about the bodies outside the city, but hey, that's not what the guards are paid for.
Is this on the map, the town?
Yeah, it's in the on the right-hand side of it. Most of them are on the right, but obviously you are going to be in Thranduil's Keep, which is where the session is going to be mostly based. Hence why that's been recorded on there. This is actually taken from the module, the Thranduil's Keep module. So, while I'm not going to use anything from that module in specific, I will be using towns, references, and also the keep itself in a little bit. So, let me just do a thing here, because I will need your characters in a couple of moments. You have arrived at the border checkpoint, where a guard is boredly going over your, paperwork. It's basically, well, you're coming up here for mercenary work. I'm going to move you now to this place. Good. Get it there. You should see yourself, and hopefully you can still actually control yourself, because I am new to Roll20.
Seems like it.
Seems so.
Okay, that's fine. Again, I am a fairly novice person on Roll20 in any case. So, the guard across from you is just checking your access papers and basically reading you through the rules of View. Your weapons have to be checked here unless they are smaller than a short sword, basically. No trouble in town. No drinking after midnight. The town gates will be closed at sundown. They will not open until dawn. There are no exceptions to this rule. You will have to come and find us in a day or two when you have secured accommodations. And if you work in the city, you will also have to come back here and sign some additional paperwork. Is this all agreeable to you?
Yeah,
Suppose.
probably throw us out otherwise, right?
Well, they probably would, and it is approaching dusk. You are this is sort of the end of the day at this point. You've basically spent 2 days on a caravan together, attended by an elderly person who looks as if he was going to fall out of it every 2 moments. So you've had a rough journey up here.
I'll do anything for a bed right now. So yeah.
Very well. Sign your names if you can. This, for reference, is just this guard talking to you at this point.
I guess I'll scribble it. I'm not sure if I'm actually literate.
Yeah. The guardhouse
I am
is
quite smart, so I probably am.
Yeah, that's fine. As I say, the guards are sort of just milling about. It's almost the end. It's almost shift trade-off. But there is a noble-looking person in the corner who is apparently just playing cards for himself, drinking a mug of beer on the side, and is looking at you with basically a look of discontent at this point. So, if you're looking for mercenary work, we might be able to sign you up here in the garrison, given your he looks at the gnome Titan. Given your militaristic background.
That's right.
Have you fought in the military before?
Yes.
Who are you fighting against out of interest?
Tribes of giants, mostly.
There's no giants here. He's obviously lying. I'd just kick him out.
Whoa,
I said this military.
This is the half-elf in the corner who's basically just boredly just commenting and stabbing him. We don't... Look, you are what? 2 foot nothing? You're fighting giants is absurd.
Well, I mean, relatively, he is fighting giants every time.
Ah, so you don't like human types? Is that it?
Oh,
He gets to his feet here. Although unsteadily, he's clearly had a couple to drink at this point.
God.
does he? How tough does he look?
Let me just have a quick check. Actually, he honestly is dressed in. He's dressed more for going out on the town than for actual combat. He does have a short sword visible, and he does clearly have a small leather buckler strapped to his arm. But honestly, compared to the guards who are in full ring mail, and while they're not dressed for combat as say, they at least look like official guards. This looks like a fop who's just walked in.
Well, if you wanna see how good I am at finding giants, then I'm fine to take a tumble. If you really want to embarrass yourself.
Now, there's no need for that. He attempts to step. The guard you're talking to attempts to just step between them and has a sort of private word with him. Can you make a listening check for each of you, please?
Yeah. So if I just hit the check button, it should take into account my skill.
Yeah. So
right?
if you check your listening, it should automatically just apply the skill. And so Alfonso has rolled a 97. Solo has been successful. Dylan is successful. So you overhear some muttering about non-humans. We've got enough of them in the city as it is. Just get rid of them. Look, we can shut them out early, leave them outside. Who knows? Maybe the goblins will take care of them. I don't want them in my city. Your reactions, or are you just going to allow this conversation to continue going on? You just hear random muttering. You're not,
Sorry, I was sorting out
No, it's
ordering
fine.
lunch.
Oh, lunch is important. Don't worry about that.
But
I'll be like, I'm, friggin' non-human. I may be, but I'm here, and I'm willing.
Non-human? You're barely a person.
I'm
Look at you.
capable.
You're 2 foot nothing.
I'm a capable fighter, and I'm here, and I'm willing to stand up to whatever happens to threaten the city.
Well, I'm sure if we have
You
any
are
more giant
standing
rats, you're the perfect person to ask. He basically pushes his way past the guard at this point, heading towards you with.
I'm heading towards him. I've had enough of his fucking attitude.
All right. He has drawn his sword. At this point, the guard basically tries to leap. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, stop this now. The other guards on duty basically put their heads up from whatever they're doing at this point. Are you drawing weapons? And if so, initiative, please.
I've already handed my weapons over, haven't I?
Not at this point. He said they was going to have to, but they haven't done that yet. So you're just signing the
Okay.
paperwork before you let in. This is sort of the checkpoint before you let in.
Alfonso, isn't this your thing? Talk him out of it.
Oh, hold on. Let's not be rash here.
If that's all you're going to say, I'll take a diplomacy check, please.
I was gonna say that, like, this guy, it just seems to be a drunken fight. I'm not gonna be drawing my weapon for it if we are getting into a fight.
Oh, he has already drawn his short sword.
Yeah, I don't want to kill a man.
Gonna fight in bare arms. He has a sword.
I'll fucking take him down. You see me?
So you're clearly drunk.
Make a
That
diplomacy
is.
check, please. Or actually, what? Let me just have a quick check on this here. What skill are you trying to use to convince him he's drunk?
I mean, diplomacy is as good as the next thing, I think.
Fair enough. Roll diplomacy unless you can come up with something better. I don't actually know what your diplomacy is offhand, in all fairness. So, right. Let me just do a thing here. You have rolled quite well, actually.
This fails.
Let's
If you
see if
like to outdrink people, maybe I'll challenge him to that.
I'm actually going to get some dice out and roll this because I'm not going to roll that on screen right now. Let's see what the opposed check is going to do. So what if I am drunk? I'm allowed to be drunk. This is my city. You riffraff traveling with other riffraff. You can't come here and tell me what to do.
Do you own this city?
Do you have any idea who I am? At this point, he's pulled himself away from the guard and he's now moving towards you. He has his weapon drawn. What are you doing, Aegon?
Of course I have some idea who you are.
You'll just keep talking at him. Okay, go for it.
You're a very esteemed fellow who I've heard a lot for.
I don't have to take that kind of language! He attempts to lunge his short sword at you. I assume that since you have not been combat ready whatsoever, you have 0 defenses up. So I'm just going to roll an attack here. Can you roll a d8 plus any defensive bonuses you have? You have to beat a 4. But I did roll quite well for damage.
Yeah, jeez.
So a d8 plus any dexterity modifiers you would have.
And where would I see this?
Obviously, most of your combat things are already set in, but what I didn't do was go through all of the possible stages. If you have if you're not got initiative yet, you're unprepared. You weren't expecting him to just stab you, even though he has his weapon drawn. This will just be a flat d8 with. Let me find your character sheet when it comes up. Plus any dexterity modifiers you may have. So defense modifiers. So you got a -4. You are wearing armor as well, which is padded, so you have another -3. So you basically are rolling a d8 -7. And I presume you're not wearing your shield, your small shield at the moment.
I mean, this is gonna go so well.
I wasn't ready for this. I thought, oh god.
I mean, to be fair, I only rolled a 4, but even that seems beyond you at this point. Look at how bad you are in combat. You did roll, Aegon. You did roll again. You did roll the maximum, so you do roll that again. But it's just a d8. So your -7 is static. Your d8 is continuous. So yeah, Aegon, you actually defended against him. That is quite amazing.
Blame it on his drunkenness.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, my roll was terrible, but yeah, he actually successfully defended on a d8. So yeah, you've been attacked. So I'm going to say initiative is now a thing that is happening at this point. Can each of you roll initiative while I basically set things up? Obviously, I've got to set this up for a couple of other people as well, but I'm just going to clear the tracker, raise the count. Basically, for initiative, I want you to roll a d12 because none of you prepped. Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm just going to delete you and ask you to re-roll it. So basically, towards the top, you'll see a d12 as what you can do with that. So yeah, that's not fine. You just roll the 12. Actually, Aegon, if you go into your character sheet, you'll see there's an initiative thing on there. You choose which dice you're using against the minus. Yours, however, you don't necessarily have to roll because yours is going to be adjusted for reasons I'll explain in a moment.
Hold on, I'm trying to. That's intelligence. That's
that last name. The hell. Brand the Gamba.
It feels it's kind of more hobbity than anything, but I think it works.
No, of course. Okay, so the half elf with the short sword, I've actually rolled quite badly for initiative, but he's actually was kind of initiating things, so he was starting on 1. He has, however, made a weapon attack, so he's now going to be changed to an 8 because that's.
I'm trying to find the initiative button, but.
Oh, if you go to the top right of your character sheet, very top, towards the very top.
Yeah.
You'll see when I bring it back up again. I've opened up a different person's character sheet.
It's under saving throws, and then you go quick references, and in quick references you got initiative.
Yep. So.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So you basically want to set that to a d12 and then roll it, and that will add you onto the board as is. However, yours is going to change. So that would be you've actually managed to roll a 20 for initiative, but you were attacked. So because you were attacked, your initiative now becomes 2 above the current count number. So you now have an initiative of 2. or your first action is going to be on step 2. So I'm now going to begin the count. So the way the count works is, well, now you've had rolled your initiative. This is the number of seconds they're actually passing in combat, and until you have acted for the first time, you are considered surprised. So count goes up. Second 1, nothing happens. Second 2, Aegon has not changed to a 2. Sorry, that was the thing that was supposed to have happened there.
Sorry.
There we go. No, it's fine. I should have happened on my
Do I
end.
change it to 2 or?
No, it should happen now. So count up.
Oh, do you want to roll low for initiative?
You do want to roll low for initiative. For some reason, Aegon, it's not working. So I'm going to say, Aegon, just for purposes of things, it's now technically your action. So, because you were attacked, your initiative becomes 2 above that, because it's very difficult to, if you defend from an attack, you are clearly aware of the combat's going on, no matter how slow you're reacting, everybody else is reacting. So, sword has been thrust at you. What do you want to do?
I will pull out my saber.
Okay, that will take 1 second for you to prepare your combat, so you then act on second 3. So this would now be me adjusting this to 3, and for some reason it just refuses. There we go. It actually adjusted it to 3 this time. Right, so count up. So now you're highlighted, which means it's your turn. So you have now drawn your weapon.
I've drawn my weapon, and I will attack with my weapon.
Okay, so if you go down into your weapon stats, you will see an attack button.
With no shield, I assume.
Yeah, you said you didn't have your shield equipped, so that's basically the only reason that's relevant is for your defense rather than attack in this case. But obviously your defense is preset depending on whether you've got a shield or not. So you've made an attack with the saber. So you've made an attack roll of 7. I will then make a monster attack, an attack with a defense with the half elf, who only rolls a 4 for defense. This guy is terrible. So your attack is actually successful, even though you only rolled a 7, because he rolled lower. So you may roll damage. Okay, you've also penetrated with your first d6, adding additional 1 point to that. Unfortunately, minimum value, and then you did another 3 with that. So you actually did 10 hacking damage.
I thought this guy was going to be bad at combat.
He is bad at combat. You see how slow his initiative was? He wasn't acting until 20 seconds after the combat started, unless he got hit. Or, that happened. So, Aegon, one thing you have to do is now you have to select your delay speed. So, the weapon speed of your saber is 9, so you will act in 9 seconds' time, and you will do full damage with any attack you do from that. You may also do a jab, which is a speed attack, but you do less damage, but it will act faster in the combat sequence. So, if you press normal or jab for your thing, that will move you directly in that combat. So you press your button and you've moved down to tick 12 in the combat step. And that's kind of how combat now works. You now sort of go into a back and forth situation here. You can move once you've been active, just as an FYI, and you can choose to retreat as well. But obviously, if you declared you're going for another weapon attack, then you're obviously this 7 seconds, or however long Aegon's attack is him basically trying to bypass the drunk half-elf's defenses before he can make another attack. There are exceptions to this, but we will get to that as we go. So, the count continues. Count 4, nothing changes. Count 5, we now move to Zwei. You have actions.
Alright, can I tell how the guards have reacted to...
You can tell that they're stunned at the moment. They haven't reacted in many ways. They heard the shouting and commotion, but they haven't actually made any steps towards this because this is all too sudden for them. They weren't expecting whoever this was to suddenly attack the people who had, this is a random checkpoint. They were about to go off duty. They were not prepared in the slightest. The only one who's even partially aware is that guy basically half jumped on the table to try and stop him from doing this.
Yeah. I was gonna see if I could tell if they would fight us or him, or if I should be worried about them fighting us. How could I move into a position? Well, I guess I'll draw out my dagger.
Okay, so that will take you 1 second, so we're just going to put you on to 6. In fact, I might be able to do it this way around. Bear with. Does that work? No, that works. Okay, so I can add 1 second to each person if I need to. All right. Okay, so we now move into a count of 6. It's a small weapon, so that is 1. I think technically speaking, Aegon should have been slightly longer, but, it's fine. I'm learning the game as well to a large extent. All right, so count is now 6. So 2 people are acting at the same time here, but you will have priority, I think, with the way this has currently worked. So if I up the count again. So Zwei, you are going first. Now, movement-wise, you can, because you're a medium-sized creature, you can move 10 feet or 2 squares each second. You basically move up. You can basically move up the speed channels. You can go faster if you need to, but basically walk, jog, whatever.
What's diagonals count as?
Yeah.
Technically 10 feet, but obviously you've got to go on top of a certain gnome who's there. But for this,
Yeah, so,
for the second of movement,
Fit
you can
between your
move.
legs.
Yeah.
so could I move like that, or can I move on top of someone?
You can't move on top of somebody, basically. I know it's a bit weird, 5-foot gaps. They've proven this in various videos, how 5-foot squares are kind of terrible for this. Also, the squares don't exactly line up with a grid, just as an FYI, but you can definitely move to there. That's
Yeah.
1. So that'll mean you're going on 7 with your 5-foot moved.
Okay.
So the base guard has now basically started panicking and is now running towards the stairs at this point. This is a sort of an upper level, if this makes sense,
Oh yeah.
that he is on. But obviously he's now just sort of beginning a run. So we move on to the next initiative. So count of 7. And it's put the human guard randomly first. So he's actually moved from a jog to a run, which you're allowed to do. You're allowed to escalate the movement, so you will move 4 spaces this turn. And moves to there. And he is done. So his way.
Yeah. So I can move diagonally now, can I?
Yep, you can move diagonally. I'll say that's fair since you've technically got 2 points of movement. So you've moved into position there.
Yeah.
So you'll be ready to attack next second. So that moves to 8. Count goes up to 8. And on the count up, you are going before the guard at this point. So count is 8. What are you doing?
I guess I'll swing at the noble high elf whatever person.
Okay, he has a buckler, but he can only use that against the person he's on. So he's rolling reduced defense of d20 minus 4 because he can't use his buckler against 2 opponents.
Yeah.
And obviously Alfonso is the one that is most directly in front of him. I know that's strictly speaking not how it's shown there, but that's how I'm judging it for the moment. So if you would make an attack roll, please. Okay, so your attack roll is 11. So I make a no shield defense, which... Oh, whoops, I've got to actually click the token. Yep. My bad. What is with these rolls? Hold on. I'm rolling 1d20 minus 4. Use the highest value of those 2. Okay, so he hasn't fumbled, just... Actually, no, he has fumbled. Okay, he's fumbled. So I've got to now resolve the fumble. Sorry. All right.
What's fumbling?
So fumbling is the opposite of critical hitting, but again, you will hit, but I've got to resolve the fumble here. So let's just resolve and see what happens. So how much did he miss by? What was your attack roll? 11. So he missed the fumble by 9, which affects this. Clumsily incur self-inflicted wound. Roll damage dice and add strength bonus penalties. Do not apply things. Okay, so basically he has damaged himself. Yep, okay, so he's...
For him?
Yeah, this is not going well for him. He's basically cut himself trying to defend against your attack. Roll damage, please. With dagger.
Hang on.
Okay, so you roll 2d4 penetrating plus 1, so you rolled 1 and 2 up to 4, so you successfully hit him for 4. He does have some armor, so he will take less damage than that, which I'm not sure I applied on the first hit, in all honesty, but hey. But basically, you cut him. Help me, you fools! And yeah, we are going to count up from... Oops, whoops, I didn't mean to click that. So you're done. The guard with the mace can't run any faster, so he's just doing his thing. And Wazoo, you're up.
I would like to try and de-escalate the situation, but I don't think I'm the character to do it.
What, Mr. Free
think we're well
Charisma?
past that point.
My free charisma, yeah. Yeah. I
It's
was
well
planning
past
not
that
to
point,
draw
everyone.
blood,
Oh, so wait.
but
Can you just mark whether you... Can you click either normal or jab, depending on whether you want to go for a speed attack or a normal attack for the next round?
I'll go for normal.
what's the difference between it?
So jab means you do half damage, but you act a bit faster than you would normally. His dagger has a normal
Right.
speed of 6. I think it's got a jab speed of 4. So he can move. He could attack again in 4 seconds, but only do half damage.
Yeah, I pressed normal, but it said it's not your turn. So.
Yeah, I know. Because I added 1 to you, it messed up the order. You're actually acting on 15 if you're doing that. So
Okay.
that's fine. Okay. So Wazoo, what are you doing then?
Yeah. So I said I wasn't telling not to draw blood, but considering that my companions have just done so.
Yeah, and also him
Oh.
technically. Okay,
Yeah,
so you.
he's himself.
I mean,
So
he
you-
was just drunk, so I was planning to just like tackle him down.
Okay.
But he's now been stabbed, so
Yeah, so you've moved into position.
I mean, he
which is
tried to stab Alfonso.
Yeah.
It's not
At the same time as you do that, count up at I've upped the count, but it doesn't actually matter at this point. So Wazoo's done. So you go up by 1. I've got to get better at making sure I click this correctly. The longsword guard you were originally discussing with has drawn weapon and advanced in one smooth motion, and gives the shout of "Protect the Lord!"
Okay, so that answers my question about whether they'll help us.
Okay,
Definitely not.
probably not. All right, count goes to 9. The longsword guard is going first, unfortunately for Dylan. But let's see if I can make an attack roll that isn't 1. Oh yeah, I made an attack roll that isn't 1. Okay, so Dylan, if you would roll your current defense.
yeah. Where's the macro for rolling defense on the sheet?
So if you go onto your weapon stats, that should have attack, defense, damage, etc.
Oh yes.
So you're rolling defense for whatever for current relevance of it. You are equipped with a halberd, which I have to say, actually, just Dylan, I've had to do some kind of shenanigans with that because you're a small creature. You shouldn't officially have halberds, so you've got to cut down halberds.
Okay.
You're not allowed large weapons. I didn't feel that was fair to just because obviously first time through, so you've got a reduced halberd.
Right, I didn't realize that, but that does kind of make some sense.
Because the
Okay.
halberd is smaller than average.
Okay, that's a roll of 20 total rather than a nat 20. There would be bonuses if you'd hit the nat 20 on the defense roll. So you've successfully defended against the attack. So,
Yay.
so plus token speed. Wazoo, you're attacking at the same time. So even if I'd have killed you with that attack, you'd have got this attack on, whatever you're doing. But obviously you have 2 opponents at this stage. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing I'm gonna take a shot at the guy who just tried to attack me.
okay, so you're going to go back at the longsword. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll consider that covered off against you 2 because technically you should have had it reduced given your close connecting to both. But it's fine. I've missed that. That's my fault.
I was just saying for that roll, it was 1d20 plus 2.
Yeah, you'd have lost 4 from being effectively non-shielded. I think you've only got a small shield, haven't you?
Yeah, I got a small shield, but it says I have 2 defense bonus from it.
That's not a problem. That's accounted for if you do that roll. Again, you'd still have enough from it, so that's fine.
Yeah.
You
No, I was
still-
just trying to see how the maths adds up because I got 2 defense 2 as well from the halberd weapon. So I thought it'd be plus 4.
Yes, so that's your current shielding with that, and obviously your halberd. It's a buckler as well, isn't it? That's why you've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got a buckler on your side, which means you can defend against one opponent with the front facing. However, it doesn't matter for you because you've got a halberd and you're allowed to use that and get full defense for it because it's a weird weapon.
Right.
But,
So
so
it was
you
just
will
taking into account
pretty
the
much
halberd
always
then,
roll
yeah.
a d20 unless there are disadvantages going in place. And since you're running against one opponent, d20 is the fair roll for that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll just roll an attack back at him then.
Yep. So rolling against the Wazoo, you have rolled a 5.
Yeah. I guess I hit the delay button now, so
Yeah,
it
so you can
counts on my turn.
Yep, so you can roll the delay to do that. I'm going to roll basic defense.
Yeah, that seemed to do it.
What the heck has gone on here?
-3.
Oh, that's
You
no. I
rolled a
rolled
one
defense.
with-
Whoops. No, I rolled defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to count that roll of 1 anyway because that doesn't change that. But a 1 with the bonus he's got is still not. Your attack of 5 is successful. He's got +3. Roll damage. He does have 3 damage reduction, so
All right.
Thing to bear in mind.
Damage. Lots
Okay.
of 1s for damage rolls.
Yeah, it is working. I have tested all these working, but for whatever reason, we're all rolling abysmally at the moment. Okay, so he takes 5. Also, yeah, he should have. Yeah, because he doesn't have a shield, that's why he's got the -4 on that. So,
Right. My food might be arriving in a min, but I'll just run out and grab it if it comes.
okay. Mace Guard is still legging it. Is slowing down because he's about to go into a wall. But moves on. Okay, count goes to 10. He continues sort of rotating around here and moves up. Oh, count up. That should do that. Yep. Add the second. I've already moved him. Count up to 11. Mace Guard goes again, legging it down the stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Token plus 1 second. Longsword is now aware, and he has drawn his sword. After all this has gone on, he's finally aware combat is happening. So he's going to draw the sword. I'm just going to roll a d4. Okay, so I need to add 4 to this guy, so he will resolve himself again on a 15. Okay, count up. Okay, 12. So the Mace Guard is still in a sort of running motion here, and is able to just run past his friend and move to, actually not quite that, to that position. This is going to be a hell of a charge when he gets there. He's been running for a while here. Alfonso!
Oh boy.
You're up. Since you were initially stabbed at, this guy has gone through basically the wars. Partially self-inflicted.
Oh boy. Can I try to de-escalate?
If you can do it in a second. Otherwise, I'm going to have to assume how long your oration takes you, and then just work from that. But you are currently being attacked.
I shout stop very, very loudly.
That'd be 1 second.
I'm going to call that a difficult diplomacy check. Roll it. You failed the diplomacy check because it's on a flat roll. So yeah, everybody hears stop, but they're not listening to you. You didn't have the voice of command exactly down right, apparently. That, however, is going to take your action. However, you are going to act on 13. So I'm not going to fully punish you for that. Count goes up to 13. Alfonso can act again. He's acted stop and notices that nobody has.
Well,
Well, I tried.
Oh, I tried. Time to kill him.
what's the condition of the guy that stabbed me?
Well, he stabbed himself in the arm. He's taken a sword wound from you. He's taken a dagger into the chest as well from the half-goblin.
Yeah.
Half-goblin, sorry. So he's looking worse for wear. He's also wearing very basic leathers, and as I said, was dressed like a fop. He does not look built for combat. He's also drunk.
Be right back.
Well, I guess I'll just stab him again.
All right, make an attack roll. You made an attack roll of 3. I might actually be able to beat this because I've got shield against you at the moment. Oh, that's a human guard. Whoops. I've got to take that roll, though, surely. I rolled a 2. Plus, what's your defense here? Let's work this out. 3. It's a tie, so 3 is tied means basically defender advantage. So your attack has done nothing.
Okay.
But equally no counter attack. So he's able to drunkenly block you more by your lack of skill in the attack than his ability to defend it. His lack of skill is pairing up against yours. Can you just roll place either normal or jab, depending on whether you want a quick attack or go for it. That's fine. Right, Mace Guard. 1, 2, 3. And he's basically now drawing his mace back for a charging attack at you.
Can I dodge?
Wow, you will get the ability to dodge, but you just heard the shout behind you. So, taking plus 1 second. Count goes up. Count goes up. The guard is now moving in and is attacking you, Aegon.
Ah.
So, basic attack. So I'm attacking with 12. Can you roll a d20 minus 4, which is probably a shieldless thing. It might already be on your character sheet as a thing you can do. If not, just roll defense.
Saber no shield, defense roll.
Yeah, saber no shield. Roll that, please, for defense. I'm going to check your stats a couple of moments here. Hold on. Because that doesn't look right, but it might be.
Bash yourself in the head with a sword whilst trying to defend yourself, or what?
I don't think he's even fumbled. He's rolled a 4, so he hasn't actually fumbled. That's just how bad he is. Yeah, he has a -9 to defense with no shield.
What the hell?
And he rolled a 4, so that basically means it balances out his penalty for shieldless combat. So yeah, he defends with a -4. What's your damage reduction? 3 currently. So Aegon, take an 8-point wound.
Okay. That's...
So if you go onto your character sheet and look down on the left-hand side, you'll eventually find wounds.
I'm back.
Welcome back. The mace has finally landed, and landed into Aegon quite heavily. I'm looking at the wrong character sheet again, but it shouldn't be a problem. So underneath your combat profiles, you'll see health and defense. Add an 8-point wound. Don't worry about days to heal for the moment.
Okay.
Yep, and I can see that's been done. So, yeah, that hurt. What's your threshold of pain, out of interest?
Where's that?
It's in the area just above the wounds. TOP.
Yeah.
7.
Make a threshold of pain check. 9. Are you sure? I'm about to check it. It better be.
Yeah, TOP 9.
TOP 9 is
7.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you are just above your threshold of pain with that, so you are still standing, which could be horrible if not. Oh wait, that's his action and token speed, so he won't be acting again for a while. Did you jab?
Yep.
Okay, make a jab attack then, or if you're going to, or do whatever you want to do at this point.
I mean, run away.
So you prepared for a jab and decided to run away. Sure, I think officially you are supposed to attack, because what you're deciding at that point is what you're doing until your next action, so you're preparing the attack.
Oh.
So I think at this point you jab, and if you decide not to attack any further after this point, then I'll let you get your action. So yeah. So make your jab attack, and who are you attacking actually? The half-elf or the guard behind you?
Well, the guard.
Okay, so you've turned around and are now just trying to jab the guard somewhere.
Do I roll attack or?
You roll attack, yep. You've rolled a critical hit, so as long as you beat him, you will roll a critical hit attack with this. So I'm going to roll shieldless defense on the mace guard. Yeah, that's about as abysmal as these have all been thus far. Okay, so I've now got to resolve the critical hits here. So let me just press that button to find out what happens. So you are both medium-sized creatures. Can you, Aegon, enter the attack roll after all modifiers have been applied, so 18. Can you roll jab damage for me? Because you did say you were jabbing.
Damage roll?
Yeah, there should be a jab. Oh, no, it'll be a bit to the right of that, actually. Actually, no, it might be in the weapon stats underneath it. I forget how it's laid out.
Range, combat, armor.
Sorry, these character sheets are intelligent, but they're not the most intuitive things to use.
If you do hidden details.
Okay, so if you go into hidden details for your saber with no shield.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you know, I've just realised what's happened here. The saber doesn't have a jab.
Oh.
So that's why you acted immediately. No, it's my fault, because obviously that was an option. I can probably adjust that going forward, but I need to be careful with that one. Okay, so what I'm going to say here, Zagan, I'm going to be incredibly generous to you. I'm going to allow this to stand.
Okay.
So you have rolled 11 for your damage at this point. So I'm going to continue calculating. Damage reduction of the guard is 4 in this case because he's got ring mail rather than studded leather. And it is a hacking weapon. Just saber.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Oh dear God.
Side hit. That's
What's your best damage dice? Because roll 3 of it.
3 damage rolls. Or...
No. So your damage is I think D6 and D8 for a saber. So roll 3d8, please.
Okay. Roll 3d8.
Yep.
I've murdered this man.
There's a lot of I don't expect them to have all these tables and shit built into Roll20. It's pretty neat.
No, I've actually done this myself. I mean, a lot of these were already existed by other people, but I've amalgamated them for things. Right, so you have done a grand total of 23 damage, which causes a knockback. So he is immediately knocked back. He actually died. He actually then falls to the ground, a bloody mess, because you basically sliced the side of his head off.
Oh god. Is he still alive?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, basically, he's basically gone up to Egan, hit him on the head, and then just been sliced through the head in reply.
Nobody hits in a snuffler on the head.
Alfonso, by the way, is a terrible combat character, I mean to point out. He has no strength bonuses. He has a real bad penalty to dexterity. The only reason he's even actually able to move at this point is because he was attacked first.
Oh,
Right.
God.
Yeah. That's...
What's your epic one-liner for killing this man? You got you. What do you say afterwards?
Nobody bumps in a snuffler.
Right, I'm moving you to 24 because that's where you should be at this point, because obviously weapon speed is 9. But yeah. Count moves up. Count moves up. Let me just make a d20 roll here because I need to. The guy with the shield and longsword of a side has basically looked at what you've just done and he's in stunned silence at this point.
He's like,
And is therefore not going to move this round for a couple of seconds. So, count goes up. So, Zwei, you're up.
Okay. Can I move and attack?
So basically, the reason you delayed up to this point is because you were making an attack roll. So you will make your attack roll at this point.
Oh, okay. Should I do that?
Yep. And then after this, you can decide if you want to use the attack roll by pressing the speed of the weapon, or if you want to move.
Okay, so do I do that?
Right. Wait a moment. Okay. So, right. I've got to do no shield defense because he's using a shield against that, and I need to roll a 19 or a 20. Otherwise, terrible things start happening. In fact, I might need to roll a 20 here. I don't think he can beat you.
Oh yeah, I should decide whether it's a normal or a jab, right?
No, don't decide that now.
Yeah.
Don't click that. When you decide you're definitely attacking again, that's when you click that. You'll have that option sort of at the end of this phase. Yeah, you rolled a defense of 5. Right. Okay. Can you roll damage?
Okay. Here we go.
Yep. It's on blue because you actually did roll a penetration with one of your dagger attacks here. So you've done 8. But now I've got to resolve the critical hit side of things. So, right.
Okay.
Medium creature versus medium creature. Attack roll after modifiers have been made is 23 from you. Defense roll after modifiers is 5. Enter the damage, but do not deduct the defender's damage reduction. So that's 8 damage. The defender's damage reduction is 2. And a dagger is a piercing weapon, I believe. In fact, no, a dagger is counted as a hacking weapon.
No,
That might be an error on my part, but yeah, okay.
Hey, head again.
Is that the same
No,
roll?
again.
Is that the same roll? 5, 6. No, it is a different roll. Oh boy! Roll 3d4, please. If you roll 3d4 exclamation point P, that'll do the penetration damage thing. Because they do penetrate.
Exclamation mark
P.
P, right.
And that will also penetrate the dice if they roll maximum. It doesn't matter, but it's just as that. Because once I found this trick, this made things a lot easier. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly worked. So.
Okay.
So right, that totals to 13 additional damage on this one.
Cool.
He is knocked back. He's down. Basically, a large cut to the side of his head as well, and yeah, he's down.
Jesus Christ.
We really took care of those guys.
He falls to the ground, a puddle of blood spilling out from his head. Right. Can you now decide what you're doing in terms of movement / weapon speed at the point?
Did I do a throwing knife at the far guard person?
Okay, so you're going to prepare throwing knives. Can you just check what your throwing knife speed is?
6.
Okay, so roll a d4, add that to the 6, and that'll be when you're going next. So d4 is basically you putting daggers away, finding those. Can you roll another d4? Because it's taking you somewhat longer to find them than you were expecting.
You just shaking a little bit because you can't believe you did that.
Okay, so that's only 6 additional. So you're
you're
acting on second 27 as things currently stand.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how long it's going to take you to switch to your throwing daggers. All right, so
I'm gonna throw it at. It's gonna be at me by the time I've gotten that out.
absolutely, but this is what you decided to do and prepare for. Yeah, so count goes up. Right, he begins jogging and has moved 2 spaces forward here. He does have a look of panic in his eyes at the moment, just as an FYI. He runs to here and swings the door open.
That door we came in through, I'm guessing.
Yep, that is the door you came in through. So, at this point, he is going to exit. So, moving on.
Oh, so the guy I wanted to throw a throwing knife at has just left. He's like, nah, I'm good.
Indeed.
I'm gone.
Right, count has gone up. So, the longsword has longsword guard has basically gone into sort of and he's just trying to fight you down now. So let's have a go at this. Oh, I have to select the token, otherwise my macros don't work. Alright, I've got an attack roll of 11 against you. Done?
Yep, I'll go roll defense.
Your defense beats it with a 17, so no damage. Okay, you're able to successfully defend against his attack. So, token speed. Okay. Count goes up. Count goes up. Count goes up. Wazoo, you're not next.
How would, like... Man, I don't... This is probably going to be really complicated, Hackmaster. How does, like, grappling work?
I have not looked up the rules for grappling. If you want me to, I can do it, but I have not personally looked up the rules for this. I know bare arm... you are actually proficient in bare hand combat because you've got minimal weapons proficiency, but I haven't looked up the official grappling rules. I will allow you to try and do a... if you want to actually try and subdue him, I will allow you to try and make a strength check opposed to try and see if that works.
That's
but
what
I will have...
'cause...
Okay, what I'll do then is, if you roll a d4, add that to your current time, because obviously you need to prepare this with what you're doing. It's not a normal attack anymore.
So I'll roll d4.
D4 exclamation P, just so it penetrates, but you rolled a 2 anyway. So I'm going to add 2 to your timer, and we'll resolve that at that point. So you're then ready to try and, use a grappling.
So my idea is the other 2 have been killed. I'm not like this guy's not necessarily doing anything really wrong. I'm just
this is the reasonable one that's left, arguably. Yeah, there. Okay, so count up, count up. You
To
are
be fair,
actually...
based on my alignment, I should be trying to not kill people.
Well, we'll see how that goes in a moment. So, Alfonso and Wazoo are going at the same time, but we'll give the priority to Wazoo because that's how the turn order has done it. So, you're going to... if you go for a feat of strength roll.
Okay.
And I assume you're just trying to tackle him to the table.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, since I don't actually know what the grappling rules are, I'm just going to use this as the basis of it, and then I'm just going to do an opposed check for you here.
Okay, so I just roll next to my strength stat.
Yeah, there should be a box for sort of feat of strength.
Oh yes, yeah. Roll that one.
Yep, roll that and see what happens. Did you nat 20 that? No, you didn't nat 20.
11 plus 9.
Okay, so versus this. I rolled a 19, so actually I think you're unsuccessful. So I rolled a 19. I don't... what did I give him? Bear with. I did put some GM notes on there, but I didn't actually put necessarily strength stats for this. I'm going to say that that's not unsuccessful. You two are basically grappling each other, but he's managing to hold you off for the moment.
Right.
So I will say 4-second delay for you at that point, while you basically were doing that. Count up. Alfonso.
Now, should we talk about this?
I'll give you this for free. The guy who was sitting across the table with you was perfectly calm less than half a minute ago, has just seen two of his friends ripped apart, potentially, and is looking in a bit of a frothing rage right now.
I'm guessing that's a no.
That's advice. I mean, you can try what you want. Also, the Mace Guard is dead, so he shouldn't be on the initiative tracker anymore.
Ah.
I mean,
kill him? I don't know.
I would allow you to try and help Dylan to basically pin him down. I'll give you some bonuses for that.
I think I'll try and help that. Yes.
Okay, so because I'm gonna say the way the combat's currently working, unless so why you want to do something else.
Stola?
No.
Oh, what? Sorry, I wasn't.
Yeah, sorry, no, it's not his own initiative order yet, but currently it seems as if Alfonso is just going to help pin down this guard, disarm him, and whatever else. So unless you want to do anything else, I'm probably going to wrap up the combat set at this point, because this has gone... I was expecting this to be far worse for you, in all honesty.
I mean, I was just gonna try and intimidate him, but if you're...
Oh, okay, you can make
Pin
an
him down.
you can go for an intimidation check. I'll allow you to take that. Roll intimidation, please. I've got to roll resist persuasion, I think, which he's a skill he might not have, but... Oh, okay. Well, you rolled a 92. He has seen two of his friend died, so unfortunately I'm going to have to say it's an average skill check, so you get a plus 40, but you still fail that by a lot. So you're unable to...
Try and get him to cough up some copper to live, but...
Killed the bloody Lord's son! You're all dead! You hear me? You're all dead!
It's 3v1, we just lumped some people's heads off. We're gonna kill you.
No! We're all dead! All four of us! You just murdered the Lord's second son!
Not if we all pretend that none of this ever happened. We were not.
We gotta get out of here now!
And say he did it.
Look, we gotta leave now! No, anyone finds out! Just let me up and we'll run away! Honestly, we can't stay here! You hear footsteps approaching.
Oh no.
I suggest...
Can we hide under the tables?
Lord Treborn's going to kill us all!
Can we kill him and hide under the tables? This is...
How about we let him run through the door and then we hide under the table?
Okay.
I don't...
Wait, you're letting him go?
Why are we hiding under the table?
I thought we had footsteps.
Yeah, you do hear the sound of footsteps approaching from... I'll see if I can ping it. Should work from this door.
We should run.
How about we all run through that door?
Where's the exit?
So this is the door you came in from. This is sort of the entrance to the guardhouse, which is basically the way this is kind of positioned is this is sort of a gatehouse style room just off the side from the main entrance to the fortified town. So you'd argue the town is probably this way. You don't know what's behind this door, and that door leads back to where you were and approaching dusk.
I guess we can go sleep in the mountains.
Yeah, probably be the best idea.
Or we could come back in an hour.
Yeah.
Look, you've got to let me go! Just let me go! He's struggling against you here. Can I have a feature strength check? You get a plus... I'll give you a +8 to this because, honestly, you three of you are... I assume you've already taken his weapon away.
Yeah, I mean, basically, my goal at this point would just be to throw his weapon away, and then we probably dash out of here.
Yep, that seems sensible.
Yeah.
Okay, no, he's not going. He's not going anywhere. Yeah, max feat strength roll with your incredibly high skills as well. Yeah, he's going absolutely nowhere. He's struggling to resist you, but he's now become almost doomed. Of case of he's going to hang us up by a gibbet. He's going to put us in an iron cage and drown us to death. He's going to feed us to his cats. His cats.
Yeah. So I'm still in favor of running out the door we came in.
Okay.
Okay, at this point, GM. I've got to move. Oh, god damn it! I set this up, and now it's not entirely working the way I wanted to. A trio of guards approach from the door you were hearing movement and noise out of, which, as we'll see the moment I actually get this layered. Okay, you were prepared for this. So I'm going to ask for a fresh round of initiatives. Can you roll d10s this time, though? Wow. Okay. Hold on. Actually, cancel that. I've got to clear the tracker first. I'm still going to take that roll of 1. So if you roll initiative again, I will just change it to 1. Sorry. Yeah, that's fine. I'll change that to 1 because you did roll that. But I had cleared initiative, so.
I'm ready to book it.
Okay, so Dylan and Alfonso have both got 12, although for some reason you're not showing as being on there.
I see myself on there, but I don't see Alfonso.
You guys are so slow.
Let me just work this out here. Yeah, I don't know why he's not on there, actually. Let me try and add him myself here, because I should be able to do that. Oh, I'm on the GM layer. That might be why.
Yeah, I think it might automatically add you only if you click on yourself and then hit the roll. Like, click on your token and hit the...
Yeah, it might be a selection issue. So, again, if you just select yourself and roll again. I'll set it to 12, regardless of what you get, but...
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, not much difference here, but that's fine. Okay, so, count up to 1, Zway.
Yeah, so I guess I just get ready to leave.
Okay, so you've made a 10-foot movement, which is your start of basically moving up to a jog. So you're now on the next second.
Yes.
So move up, count up. You're on 2.
So I'll move more to the door.
Yep, you can either keep jogging or you can move up to a full-on run, move on to the corpse. But yeah, that's fine. So rigid, count up. Plus 1 second, count up. All right, you're at the door. I'm free. The door has been closed behind the guard who went out there before during the combat, but.
So, would I have to move him out the way or something?
No, he's just a corpse on the floor. He's bleeding out, but he's not really blocking it. However, the door has been closed from when the guard ran out of there a little while ago.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, that got that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can I open it? Can I try and open it then?
Okay. As you, this is gonna cost you 2 seconds, but the door is locked, or at least barred, or something.
Well then. Do you want to hide under the tables?
All right, count up
You
for
could rather do that.
5 seconds. All right, so Zwei, the door is unfortunately locked or closed or jammed or something, but it didn't open when you pulled it. Or pushed it, actually. That was sort of the 2 seconds was confusion of, get this door open!
Okay, I'm gonna like move to hide under the far right table, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so you've moved. You've basically decided the door is useless. I'm going to move this way. As you do, this guard is basically going to do a running move up to here for his 5. The other 2 have drawn bows, short bows.
That's not good.
It probably isn't good for you. You also hear movement outside of the door that was closed, but you don't know whether that's just the one guard or many, unless you make a listening check right now for me.
Do you want all us to do that, or just?
Just wait for the moment. The rest of you are still. You haven't even realised they've
Use
entered
up
from
an
the top
action?
yet.
Would it use up an action if I did a listening check? Or
No, this is just use a listening check. It's not an action particularly. I'm just telling you to make one, and I'll give you a count
yeah,
of
I'll do that.
what you're hearing. You're actually yeah, that's a good success. You hear more than one set of footsteps outside that door. You would guess there's probably 3 or 4 people milling outside there. From the sound of it, they're quite close to the door, possibly even holding it closed at this point.
Okay. So can I move like here and hide under the table?
You already made your move to move away, actually.
Oh yeah.
But basically, there's nobody else moving for the time being, so you will get to do that. So if that's your move, then it means you're basically moving until 7 to get to there, and as you said, you're hiding, taking cover under the table.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide. They won't find me.
Okay.
It's time to finally be a real thief.
Absolutely. Okay. So let's. When I change numbers, it does seem to screw this up slightly. Bear with. So count up to 6, count up to 7. During that time, he's moved. This guy is armed with a bastard sword and shield, a large shield as well. There's then a bang on the door that happens at second 7. This bang is on the lower door, the one that you know is closed and locked.
Okay.
I'm going to make a feat of strength check here, but I don't imagine it'll be successful if you're going to still oppose it, Wazoo.
What with this guy?
Yeah, and I rolled a 5 anyway, so no, he struggles for his turn, and he's but other than that, isn't able to do much. Okay, so count goes up to Zwei. You have taken shelter under the table. Are you going to try and hide there?
Yes.
Make a hiding check, please. I'm going to call this difficult because they saw you go there.
They'll find me.
65. Keep telling yourself that. So the good news is you have at least got protection from the bows. Okay, so I will say that the act of getting properly hiding means you can go on 9. But honestly, if you want to continue hiding, that is entirely up to you.
Would I do another check?
Possibly. No, you've hidden. As far as you're concerned, you're hiding. So that's basically you're now trying to stay still and not do much, unless you decide to change your mind on that. For 8, he's now run down the stairs at a bit of a fair old knock, and then there's another bang at the door. The sound of heavy footsteps and mufflings and a shout of "Find that darn key!"
Oh god, this isn't good.
Yeah, we should surrender.
This is looking... Yeah, that's the thing. Alright, so wait. You're still hiding, I assume.
Yeah, I guess I don't know that my hiding spot sucks.
Well, you gained new information, but, it's you're still going to try and hide.
Yeah, I'll stay hidden, it's fine.
Alright. So I'm going to move you to 11 then, just to confirm that. Right. Twang, twang. Both bows sing out in almost perfect unison. I'm now going to make a couple of ranged attacks.
Oh, I thought that was like a wall. It's a balcony.
Yeah, it's a balcony. Sorry.
Yeah.
I wonder why they saw me hide.
Oh,
God damn it.
I haven't set these up for ranged attacks. Okay, fine. Right, I'm just going to do this old-fashioned then. D20 possible. This first attack is going at Dylan, and then the second one is going at Aegon. Right. Because it's a ranged attack and you are surprised, you roll a d8 for defense. So if you've got modifiers, you can possibly save this. But you can also penetrate dice rolls, as we've already established. But you're on a d8.
Do I get a bonus having a fucking tool man in front of me?
Well, not really. But yours is harder to hit. I should actually
hold him up so that.
Yeah. Okay. Dylan, your attack is actually a 15 because obviously I forgot you're small. That says perfect defense, and you rolled it on a d20 rather than a d8, though, Aegon.
Oh.
So we just want to do d8 penetrating, right?
You just want a d8 penetration roll at this point. Yeah, sorry.
What was it to make it penetrating? Just P afterwards.
So exclamation P. There you go. 4. Okay, so both of you are twanged. So. 86. So Dylan, you take 4 minus your current defense.
No damage then.
Yep. Aegon, you take a 7-point wound minus any defenses you have currently. What your damage reduction is?
Minus the roll, or?
Yeah. So basically 7 damage. So whatever your damage reduction is stated as in your wound section, you reduce that number by that. Which I think is 5 for you, because I think you've only got leather, haven't you?
Yeah. So it's a 2 wound.
It's a 5-point wound.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because you're taking 7 damage, but obviously 2 of it's taken up by your armor.
Okay.
Okay, so you're both twanged. I'm then going to move the count up. You've just seen 2 arrows shoot over the table and hit your 2 companions. But, Zwei?
I think I'm going to move out of my hiding spot.
Okay. Are you performing any actions, or are you just going, this is terrible?
I'll move closer to the other guy, I guess.
Okay, that's fine. You can make a move. So basically going from a crawl, I'll say you can only move to there. Okay, so you've moved out to there, which is fine. On 11 as well, this guy moves up and, yeah, has got sword drawn, looks kind of angry at this point. Count up.
I'll be right back.
He can run away. Fair enough. Okay, so Sway, you're on 11. Actually, no, I didn't add you.
Back.
Welcome back.
Can I prepare my dagger?
Okay, so you're again switching weapons back. I'm assuming you would have done this previously, in all honesty, so I'm just going to say you've got your dagger prepared if you want it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, so my dagger's prepared. Can I move in for a swing, or?
You can go for it if you want. Have a go.
Come at me! I'll kill you. You see what I did to your lord? I'll do that to you.
You're actually going to state that, are you? Okay, fair enough. Roll attack.
No, I'm not going to say that. I was in my mind.
Oh, of course. Everything in your mind is spoken out loud, of course. All right, roll attack. If you crit again to the head, I'm just going to... All right, your attack roll is this time 6. I have rolled a defense of 4, so you have actually managed to get through him. Roll damage. I mean, sure. He takes 7. So you've managed to just slice him across, heavily across the arm at that point. To which he will now also counterattack you.
Oh no.
Because he's also acting on 11. Okay, I've actually rolled a 20. So I haven't rolled well for damage, but you got to beat a attack roll of 20 with your defense. You have fumbled, so I'm now going to have to roll the fumble chart.
Oh no! I should have stayed in my hiding spot.
So you missed by 22 officially because he rolled a 20 for his attack. Right, and
Handle. Oh no.
he gets a free attack, and also your dagger's handle is broken, so you might just want to attack now. Well, okay then.
What's the wound I get? Or...
Currently 5, so 5 minus your armor. It hasn't done any increase to that.
So 5 points and then apply.
Yep.
Awesome.
/R2. I don't know if this is going to work necessarily, but we'll go with that anyway. Okay, you take 2 additional damage.
Is that on the same wound as well? Or...
Base is a separate wound of 2, but you don't get any defensive bonuses against it. This is just from the fumble and his automatic attack, which he was successful in. I've considered it a near perfect defense or near perfect thing. So that's a new wound of 2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We then move to Wazo.
I've disarmed this guy. I can't be asked to hold him anymore.
Okay, so you're no longer holding him.
Can I flip this table in front of me?
Feat of strength. Okay. It should be a fairly easy feat of strength roll, actually. So
I was thinking about using it as cover from those archers.
Yep, that is sensible.
Yeah, I'll just go roll.
Yep, easily. You've easily toppled the table.
Cool.
I'm going to have you actually on 14 at this point. From that, but you have successfully tipped the table. All right, count goes up. Count goes up. Actually, count should have gone up from that as well. Is Aegon back?
Yes, I am.
Also, just realised I might have done that to the wrong person. I apologise. You're both active.
Yeah, it seems like we're still on 12, which I shouldn't be.
Okay. Right. Alfonso. The gnome titan has flipped the table up. Zwei has attempted to attack another longsword guard and is getting beaten up here. The two archers are preparing for another attack. You got hit, blood banging on the door behind you. What's your play?
I shout there is a perfectly reasonable explanation for all of this.
And that is... This is the guard fighting's way at this point.
Oh.
And that is...
A troop of bandits entered here and fled after killing all these people and robbing us.
I'm going to have a quick look through your character sheet, see what your skills are, and determine what you want to roll for this.
Skilled liar?
We still have
Are you going for skilled liar at this point? You do have skilled liar as a skill.
Yes, I have skilled liar.
Alright, Aegon. Aegon, I'm going to let you roll this, but I'm going to call it a difficult check, so it's a flat roll. You've got to beat 38. You fail. Okay. Well, they don't believe you, and both archers now sort of pointing at you.
Oh, good. At least they're not hitting me.
All right. I'm going to wait, and while Aegon's oration was long, I'm going to say it only took 2 seconds. On 13, the doors bust open behind you. You can see a couple of guards that were basically pushing their weight against it. I am just going to add these to the map. Led by somebody in... Actually, I don't have a way to represent it, but there's one of the guards is considerably more impressive, wearing full plate mail and with what looks like a golden sword in his hand, out and drawn. And I just need to move these people into the right layer.
Hey, they opened our escape route.
They did. They were also blocking your escape route.
That is also true.
The central guard just basically looks in and shouts, "Stop!" 14. The archers have they're fully drawn, pointed at you, but have not fired at this point. What are your Alfonso, Wazoo, and Zwei? You were all acting on 14. What are you doing?
I put my hands up.
Surrendering?
Drop them now.
I drop my weapons. I go on the floor. I put my hands behind my head. I'm not moving. I'm gone.
The guard in front of you gives you a hard kick in the ribs.
Ow.
And then begins just moving your weapons away and just examining you. As he's examining you, he gives you a punch. The guard who was basically taking your papers at this point begins crawling up to him. Please don't take it at me. I was innocent. I tried my best. I tried to stop him, but the impressive looking guard captain moves over towards the half elf and fop in the room. Somebody fetch me a cleric. A couple of guards move out for that. And arrest these men, throw them into the dungeon. I do not want to see them again. Okay, so they basically bring out manacles and chains and everything else they can think to throw at you. They seize your weapons at this point, and you are, assuming you're unresisting, going to be led to the dungeons.
Great.
Now can I complain?
Oh, you can do what you want. You're being led away. You've also been kicked and punched by the guard that was attacking you.
I say it's the half elf's fault. He was drunk and tried to stab Alfonso unprovoked. It's not our fault. This is self-defense.
Lord erstwhile Tresting is a trusted member of the nobility. Second in line to the earldom. I would advise you not use that line of questioning when this goes to trial. It will save us all a great deal of trouble. Take them away. He waves to the guards who basically then just escort you basically out of here, through some castle walls, down a number of steps into a dark and dreary place where there is only one singular torch for 3 cells. That are the 3 cells that you are in. There is almost no light. There are some rats moving about, so at least you've got something to eat. There is nothing else here. Dusk falls. So, you are locked in a dungeon. Your stuff has been taken away. You have been stripped down to just your basic equipment, so you're not wearing armor anymore, but don't worry about changing character sheets for the moment. Okay, what do you wish to do?
Nobody
you are in as that's
the trouble I've seen.
You are in adjacent cells, so can hear each other.
Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody
We know your sorrow. Damn it. We should have stayed at home. It was so much better over there. Everything was so great.
What, better dungeons at home are?
No. Better people, mostly.
Don't try to stab you the minute you enter a town.
Yeah.
I mean, technically you did get into the town. After dusk as well, which you're not supposed to have done. Okay. Some time passes. You have a day of basically in the cells, but it's not good rest. The conditions are not good, so you're not healing at this point. Don't worry too much about healing wounds. I will resolve that as we go through this. There will be a bit of downtime here. During the time, you only see a couple of guards just walk past. One of them spitting on, at the very least, let's say Wazoo, because he thinks he can get away with it. But
stick my head out to him.
But you have not been fed in at least 24 hours by the time a clerk comes down. It's a halfling clerk who's wearing rich purple clothing, a large cloak behind him, and basically just filling in notes on a bit of paper. Your names, please. I said your names, please. He kicks the bars to just emphasize he's trying to talk to you.
Larry.
False name here. And you two? Shall I also put down false name here? No. It really doesn't matter. But, we like to get these things correct before sentencing.
Uno Arithmos.
Uno Arithmos. And you?
I'm number 1 now.
Derek Roderick IV, Marquess of Twickenham, Duke of Bereford, and Protector of the Valley.
Can you roll a skilled liar check?
So I've done that for my one too. Or...
Well, no, he did it and he roleplayed it, so I'm giving it to him.
Okay.
I don't think yours is important, but he's pretending to be.
Yeah.
Okay, the halfling visibly raises an eyebrow. Really? He starts fumbling, flicking through his notes. Which dukedom was that?
Bereford?
I see. Well, be that as it may, you are sentenced with the crime of murdering in cold blood Earl Trebon's second son. We have a witness, 2 witnesses in fact, that have testified that you came in, insulted him, and then tried to chop his head off, and darn nearly succeeded. You also attacked one other guard who was 1 day from retirement.
Okay, yeah, that's totally on us, but he insulted us.
Ah, admission of guilt. Ah, good. You can make this a lot easier by admitting as well.
No. And I mean, it was Alfonso that
I mean,
that
it
killed
doesn't
the guard,
particularly
wasn't
matter.
it?
You are going to be executed for this. Lord Trebon is fuming. He's already threatened to murder half the guards. Yeah, goodness knows what he's planning on doing to you. He's very inventive with his punishments.
What if we go free and he murders 75% of the guards?
Maybe that's how it's done in your dukedom, Bannerfall, or wherever it is. But here we have the rule of law.
How close is he to the bars? Could I reach out to him at all?
Okay. Make a feat of dexterity.
He kicked it.
Make a feat of dexterity. What are you going to try actually before this? But it's probably a feat of dexterity. He's probably close enough that you could grab him.
I wanted to see if I could pickpocket anything that could help us escape or.
Okay, there's not a lot for you to hide your intentions behind, and this isn't the usual way you would do pickpocketing. So I'll call it a difficult check if you want to make a pickpocket attempt.
Yeah, I'll do it. Screw it. We're already getting executed. How much worse can it get?
What's more crime?
Yeah. Oh, this didn't work.
Yeah, he sees you reaching, and he basically immediately jerks back. Again, he's partially expecting it. Also, it wasn't a typical pickpocket attempt. He just pulled back, so you failed to get to him, but he just decides to scurry back. They told me not to have any valuables down here. He makes another quick couple of notes on there. Yeah. I don't suppose you know anybody in town who could, I guess, attempt to represent you, or will you be representing yourselves?
Alfonso, this is you.
We will be represented by the top lawyer in town.
What about your?
I think Baron Hastings is away for the winter.
the second
Phoenix right on the case.
The second top lawyer in town.
That would be me.
We even have the gold for that. They probably took all of our.
Well, then I'm glad you're here to represent us. Then, what's our defense?
Well, first you'll have to cop up my fee, which I think, given that you tried to rob me just now, has probably.
I sent you a check in the mail yesterday.
What's a check?
I sent you
a promissory note.
Yes.
For a murder you hadn't committed before you entered the town. Premeditated, I see.
Well,
Oh God.
It wasn't for the murder. It was for some legal issues we were meant to resolve.
What legal issues were they, out of interest?
Oh, no.
Well, a trade interaction and tariffs.
I'm just gonna roll something here, bear with. He looks at you quizzically. Is it true you were outnumbered and you still managed to down 2 of them?
They fell on their own sword.
Disabling another one.
He fell on the other guy's sword.
I have an account that...
I mean, yes, that's what we did.
That
I'm not going to hide that.
I mean, I have an account that you basically, between the 2 of you, outfenced... Well... You beat one of the guards captains, and also disabled another to the point where he's now a gibbering wreck. He was executed yesterday.
So you should let us go, and we can do mercenary work for you, the state.
I'm afraid that's not how this works. We have to appease the Earl, and I don't think the Earl is going to be happy with we allowed you to kill more people. As punishment for killing his favorite son.
You're a halfling, right? You get it. The demi-humans are treated great, okay? And
some demi-humans obey the laws. Also, Lord Trebon himself is demi-human. So I don't think that's necessarily a rightful claim. He was a half-elf, if that wasn't... I did put it on the character sheet, but...
So it was just that they were talking about demi-humans too many in this.
He was, but you know, lesser humans I think was more the sort of in term. But
oh god.
Still, I may have another option. I may have another option for you, depending. How much gold did you come in with?
Not enough.
Probably not enough, but we do have a supply of gold back at our camp outside the city we could go get.
Really? Is it the lost treasure of the Mire? I've heard that one at least twice from prisoners. Jewels the size of eggs. Rubies the size of fists. I've heard a lot about it. It doesn't exist.
Yes, but did you have a diamond the size of a pea?
Yes, actually. But, you know.
We had an ancient artifact from a temple with a dragon in it.
There's no such thing as dragons. Well, not in these parts anyway, not for centuries.
Well, it was a statue, that's true, but there were traps. It was quite hard to get. You might like that.
Interesting. Which mountain would you say this is on? I'm just going to flick you back to the Elden map for the moment. There is a larger area map, but I didn't actually have that prepared, sorry. But... Well, I believe I've heard enough from you lot anyway. I've got everything I need to ensure a guilty verdict. Not that I needed a lot. I think the Earl himself is going to be judging this one. I'll ask the guards if they want to provide you with a last meal, but given you killed 2 of their friends, I don't think that's very likely. We'll see you at dawn for your execution. Well, trial. Trial followed by an execution, anyway. He begins to leave.
I never hit anyone.
The system is terrible. Yeah.
And yes,
I demand my call.
You have called quite loudly, sir. I don't think anyone's listening. And the legal system here is that a man in a position of rank as high as the Earl of the land you happen to walk upon can deny you your travelling rights. In this case, the travelling rights of anything except these cells, those stairs, and the gallows. Good day.
Good night, human.
He leaves and the door slams shut, locking out the only candle, which was the only light in this area.
I
can see in the dark.
I'm gonna die here. I don't want to die here.
Some time appears to pass.
No, that was something else. Yeah, I guess there's nothing really in our cells. So there's no,
No,
real point
not
in
unless
looking
you've-
for a
not
way
unless
to
you've
break
been-
out.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a go, but I'm basically railroading this a little bit. I just enjoyed that little interaction, so I kept that going a bit longer.
Yeah, that's alright.
All right. 3 guards dressed in leather armor with come down the stairs, supported by 2 more sort of clerk types, including the halfling from earlier.
Ah, room service.
He doesn't respond to that. Chain them up again, and then tie them together, manacles and all.
Can I ask how we're getting executed?
Can I have a blind?
Well, we prefer to leave that kind of information as a surprise. We don't want to worry you about these sorts of things. He winks.
Can I have a blindfold?
Well, then just tell us a random method. We won't know if it's the truth or not.
Oh, indeed, but you'll find out soon enough. In any case, once you are manacled and chained together, which he does, in a line, I haven't decided which way around it is because it's not going to be too relevant unless you try something here. But you're basically frog marched by the guards in leather forward and up the stairs. You are led to a large cart. It's wooden, bars on the side of it and everything, and a couple of more heavily armored guards in pale leathers are on top. You can see if you make an observation check something about them, but I'll leave that to see whether any of you are successful.
Well, I'll do an observation check.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I succeeded.
No, you didn't. Aegon did,
It was
however.
fine.
Okay, Aegon done. They're not wearing the crests of the guards you basically were in the room with for not very long, admittingly. But instead wearing a crest which is basically a crimson fist tight around a sword.
Do we recognize where that would be from?
Local history check, please.
I mean, can I do that? Because I didn't even observe
If
this,
you
so-
have it as a red skill, you can do it. But if you don't, then you can't.
I said, yeah, I don't think it's one of the universal skills, is it? So I don't have it.
No, okay. If you don't have local history, that's
No, I
fine.
don't.
We'll carry on.
I don't have it.
All right. You're
Who
basically.
exactly are? Can I ask them?
You can ask.
Yeah,
That's-
who exactly are you guys?
Just get in. We can't be late
Sounds
for your
like-
execution now,
Try
can
your
we?
stuff. Seduce them.
One of the guards is female. I'm going to point that out. But
Seduction.
this is a very difficult check, given that, Aegon, you've spent 2 days in a dungeon with no lights, in pretty much your own
I
filth,
am
not wearing your best.
exactly in a position to do that.
This is what I'm saying. It's a very difficult check if he wants to try it. She's also probably the strongest person there with a sword that's almost as big as Dylan is.
It's not that impressive.
Which probably isn't that impressive, but you
How
know.
small are you?
I'm just over. Yeah, let me check that. I'm
3 foot something, wasn't it? You were
I'm
very short.
35. I'm 35 inches.
Yeah, so he's 2'11". Oh, well,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 2 foot.
So I
apparently
assume
I'm
you're
2 foot
not
9.
attempting any kind of seduction attempt on any of the guards.
No.
That is fine.
I wanna keep the ability to do that later.
Okay. Can I have a listening check from each of you? You are then basically locked in. A couple of heavy padlocks are put surrounds the back gate. You have just about enough room to, well, at those of you of, say, taller than 50 inches, have just enough room to crouch without hitting your head on the ground. Dylan has rolled.
Why did it give me 2 rolls?
Um,
Oh, my mouse is dodgy. It sometimes double clicks things. So it's probably.
well, I'll take your first one. You hear random mutterings about taking them to Mr. Delamore. He will deal with them. And
Is that the Lord?
It's not the Lord we know about.
No. Also, you hear rumors too. Better than me. I've got to be honest. I was stuck there for years.
Oh no. What is
There's a couple. There's a couple of.
Mr. Delamore.
There's a couple of bangs on the side of the wagon. Shut up in there. Right. Let's get going. Crack of whips, and you are led along.
My lawyer.
You are head on a country road, which actually takes you in almost no time out of the city and on a different road to the one you actually came down. You basically can gain this gleam that you're heading vaguely north at the moment and eventually turning west.
Well, we're going that stronghold thing, aren't we?
I demand lawyer.
Yeah, the entire area is sort of mountain pass kind of area. The roads are a bit rough and ready, and eventually you end up just following a river which seems to have been overflowing its banks quite a lot. Yeah, this is not a very well maintained road for the large extent. Bits of it are, but the only bits around sort of where the mines are that you can see.
Can I try and glean where we are with my knowledge of the area? Because I've got where the fuck is my mouse cursor? There we go. Because I got like a trained cartography skill.
Okay, you got cartography, so I will give you a cartography roll to see if you can judge where you're going or where you're moving to, roughly.
It's actually less impressive than I thought it was.
Fair enough. It's just you've got a random skill in it, haven't you? So.
I invested some points in it because I had intelligence points.
Oh, you had intelligence things to go. Let's see what I can give you. Bear with.
So thematically, maybe as
I'm just looking at that here.
In the army, I did mapping.
You vaguely recall that there's an area around sort of the northwest of View. There was a river gorge known as Hell's Throat, which traditionally was the main attack path chosen by raving orc bands that came back there. Hell's Throat because of the amount of orcs that came spilling out, and also because of the amount of blood that was spilled in order to defend the pass. You're vaguely aware that there was a mercenary keep of some kind there, but it was a number of years ago since it's been in active use. Other than that, the main thing around here are just a few iron mines that are still kind of operational. A lot of them shut down because veins killed off and whatever else. There are still towers and ruins in a lot of places around here. Again, this is what you were kind of coming for, the hope of adventure, treasure, gold from those remaining things. So this is all information that you kind of had, or at least you assumed you would have coming up to this area from that kind of view. Let me just see if I can find anything else from there. You vaguely remember a quote. All things evil and vile spew forth from hell's throat. And all things evil and vile return to hell's throat.
I tell you, this is a nice part of the country, to be honest.
You mean Hell's Throat? Yes,
Hell's Throat is generally Hell's Throat is sort of a colloquial name for the Tanara River and how it sort of meets the Paneris in the Pateris as it goes through it. It's sort of a merging of two rivers or splitting out from there. That is Hell's Throat, as it is known. There were, as I say, a lot of the sort of mines and small towns were raided around here by orcs and goblins in the past. So, anyway, you seem to be traveling for what you can guess is about 3 hours, traveling alongside the river. You eventually see a small keep in the middle distance around a quarry town. I'm actually going to quickly move you to a different map so you can get a rough idea of the area around it. As you head up the slightly more well-maintained, now that you're approaching some form of civilization, you're on the borderland road, winding up and down, and you can see into what appears to be a bustling military camp on the right-hand side. There's a large flag basically protruding from the first of the towers from there, which there seems to be a small figure climbing. Can I have an observation check from all of you? All right. Alfonso's the only one to succeed in this because of the current distance. But I'll read this out. But basically, you don't catch this; you just catch a figure up there. The rest of you, Alfonso, you see climbing the top of the flag. You see somebody trying to paint a message underneath the crimson fist holding a sword, which you recognise as the symbol on the other guards you are currently with. The figure appears to be a peg-legged goblin.
My people, sort of. Kind of.
As you sort of drive closer to the landing, you see and past the quarry town and a palisade where you can see a couple of horses just being put through their paces by, again, mercenaries in leather. You hear a slight noise on the distance, which I'm going to give you for free. We's gonna cut you open. We's gonna cut you open. We's gonna cut you open. And also, underneath that banner is the words that have been painted by him, because you can see him holding the paint can, fresh meat.
Oh, boy.
Are we in some like Arkham Asylum evil? Oh no. What's happening?
Don't mind Jimmy, he does that to everybody. You're probably in no danger here.
Jimmy.
Jimmy the Shoe. He's only got one, you see. Although he wears it on his head.
It was always meant to be how God.
Yeah, Jimmy the Shoe, just as an FYI, is an ongoing joke with my really terrible berserkers with no strength, dexterity, or constitution. So I decided to basically make him a goblin and incorporate him into this. But anyway, he still continues his chant as you approach, pointing at you as you do. You then basically are driven through and over the river. You can see that this is a basically self-isolated island in the middle of the river, which the force has been built up almost around. I'm just going to move you on to the actual fort map here, which we can do a bit more exploration of this next time. But this is kind of what the layout of this is. And Jimmy the Shoe marks where he is currently on top of that tower. You are led basically through the gates. They're a large open area. You can see a couple of guards dealing with some mercenaries and doing what you assume is bartering, but they just wave the current caravan through. You are led through into the main sort of holding area, which is here, where you can see there's some more weapons and armor have been set up, but also a bunch of trade good caravans have been basically being inspected. Again, you are passed pretty much straight through into the open area here. On your right, you see a Grell, who is sort of a dark elf figure, who is tied up to a palisade. He appears to just be fainted, held up only by his wrists to an iron bar, and he's clearly been whipped repeatedly.
Oh no.
You are passed through the second barriers. There's sort of a small call that goes up. They open the second gates, and you're basically driven through what is effectively a small town here. A lot of the people are wearing leather armor, and a lot of them have this crest on their chest. Even the ones who aren't wearing armor have clothing with this kind of marking on them. In fact, there's very few people who don't. The exceptions seem to be the mercenaries, who have a sort of stall built up in this black building here. There's also a large pub, which you've noticed as you are driven basically by it here. And you are basically... the caravan kind of stops at this point as well. All right, everybody off. The gates are... locks are pulled, and the carriage comes down. Come on, look lively.
I suppose you could untie us.
Well, I mean...
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Come on.
How much more living are we going to be doing? I don't really...
Oh, your life is over. Your life is over.
Oh, okay.
Promise you that. Your life is over. If you would go that way, please. He points through this building, which again is another sort of keep complex. And what you've gathered from each of these is these are just defensible positions that can be closed off and sealed as necessary. Beyond here, you see a number of mercenaries with long spears, basically doing some drills, led by what you would initially view to be a giant. He's at least 10 foot tall, with a polearm that's at least 15 foot long, bellowing at his subjects. Subjects to move faster, move more in sequence, etc. They were all wearing the kind of leathers. Nobody's wearing anything better than leathers for a large extent, with the exception of this ogre figure, who appears to be wearing whatever random plates of metal happen to fit. You are, however, led into this final building here, which is sort of the largest and grandest of the buildings, and it appears to be the only one that isn't low class, really. As you're led inside, you see a number of clerks with paperwork just signing off documents and just moving things around. You see a couple of merchants arguing with one halfling on the side, who you recognize as the halfling that travelled with you and has basically jumped ahead in the queue. Right, upstairs, you'll be seeing Traxos in about 10 minutes. You are marched upstairs to a waiting room, where the door is basically closed behind you and locked. There are 6 wooden stools out here. There's no real comforts, despite the fact that a lot of the wallpaper and things seem quite fine. And a single reinforced door leading with the office signature on it, Traxos Delamore office.
I'll just say
Inside,
that halfling.
Inside, you see a different halfling.
I didn't say that.
You'd be the fresh meat that Jimmy was going on about then, won't you?
I think I was attracted to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Oh, shit.
Is it true you killed the Earl's son?
Oh,
That has never been proven in court.
Oh, we don't care about proof here. We just want to know if it's true.
I was the one that killed him. I slashed him with my dagger right in the head.
Yes, he was the one that killed him.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't love a sword?
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I've got something for you. He reaches his hand out to shake it.
I guess I'll shake his hand.
Garrett Goodbarrel. I'm the quartermaster here for the main part. By the way, we've managed to acquire most of your stuff. There will be a fee, of course, but Traxos will explain all that. Just don't get him angry. He tends to be angry a lot.
Just don't give me some alcohol and we'll be sorted.
Well, I mean, there is only one pub here, unfortunately. Don't get on the wrong side of the guy running it. He holds grudges, but he's fairly fine as long as you can avoid pissing him off. I haven't quite entirely worked out how to do that yet.
So, would you like to explain what we're doing here? I mean,
I wouldn't.
Due to be executed.
Oh yeah, you are. Your life is done. Trust me on this. There's no getting out of it. But you know what? We will remember you.
But theoretically, if there was a way out of here, where would that be?
Well, theoretically, if there was a way out of here, that would require something. He twists his fingers.
How much?
A little something. Well, given that we know what you came into town with, we know how much you can offer. But make an offer anyway. Surprise me. As I say, I'm the court.
World.
My entire estate back home.
Yeah, I heard you were apparently. I heard you claimed you were a duke. I mean, we haven't found where this dukedom is, but you know, if you're traveling around in that kind of clothing, it can't be a very successful one. Otherwise, why would you be here?
I'm traveling incognito.
It's a good disguise. It's honestly the best disguise I've ever seen.
We were planning to scavenge through ruins and find some ancient artifacts. Maybe we could offer the first one we'd find for.
Well, I mean, we see idiots like that all the time up in these parts. We're pretty much the most remote town available, so we need quite a few of them come in for supplies and whatnot. And honestly, most of them are fools. I'd say you would as well, but apparently you're strong enough to overpower the Earl's second son and kill some guards besides.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose you better follow me then. He walks to Traxos' door and opens it. In we come.
Okay.
Inside, you see a large mahogany desk filled with paperwork and a few random ornaments and things. There is a family crest of a fist holding a sword, the same as the red band hand, but this one's a much more formal one. You can see it as definitely a formal crest. Half of it is with that, half of it is a black stag. And a clearly noble-looking person going with you. I don't actually have darn images set up here, but let me see if I can get Traxos' things set up here, because I did make him. NPCs, named NPCs. Layer token. Yeah, so that's him, and I have a certain Mr. Goodbarrel here as well, just so you've got a rough idea of what he looks like.
I guess I'll bow to the.
We don't do that here. Please stand
God.
up. Also, you bowing is probably not good, given that you're still tethered to your two companions. So,
Yeah. Okay.
I understand you have been told nothing of the process you're about to go through.
We're not going to get executed. That's what I heard.
I don't know where you would have heard that kind of rumor. I wouldn't listen to such things if I were you. No, you are indeed to be executed. There's almost nothing I can do. Almost nothing.
Almost.
How much?
Oh, for high treason? That's basically what you were charged with and what I had to pay off to get you here.
Is it treason if we were never loyal in the first place?
Well, that just means you're a traitor to the realm. So, semantics. Either way, your fee was exceptionally high. Nevertheless, I have need of people with certain skills that don't necessarily follow the typical guidelines, shall we say. I'm prepared to offer you a deal. You will work for me.
Do we
In
get
exchange-
a nice white van?
In exchange,
Do we get to live? That's what we care.
in
about.
exchange,
Okay.
holds up a finger. I do not like being interrupted, and I haven't officially released you yet. In exchange, your debt will effectively be paid off via work, which I'm sure you'll find is a much better way than having it paid off via death. Although, I will point out that death is still the likely outcome. Until you have paid off that debt, your life is effectively mine. Your sentence, as it were, suspended while you are useful. If you become unuseful, unfortunately, that is the way it goes. Your debt has been recorded by my quartermaster Garrett. He gestures to him. And your details have been taken by Eldon, who I believe you have already met. Are you really a duke? You don't look the type.
No. I'm
I
a
see.
Viscount.
I see.
You what?
Lies are commonplace here. You will find that most of the residents of Frandor's Keep are similarly inclined. A lot of them are on similar contracts, and generally speaking, as long as you are civil, you will find a good home and a good working life here. I understand that you came up here seeking wealth anyway. You will just be seeking wealth for the keep and for the Red Hand.
Okay. I just don't want to die, so I'm all
If
for
you
this.
do not wish to die, you will not die. Provided, of course, you toe the line, don't cause any trouble, and somebody should really take care of those wounds before you bleed all over my nice floor. He's referencing the various cuts on Alfonso.
Yeah, they're not festered by now.
Yes, we can probably have someone deal with that. We have a loose view of religion here, but we have enough people who can potentially look at that for a cost, of course. The cost to be arranged between you and them, as always. Generally speaking, we will put you on assignments. We will ask you to ensure our contracts are safe. We will ask you to potentially defend or move to specific points with the view to defend towns that we protect within our contracts. We may, in fact, ask you to collect on such contracts once you are trusted not to run away with the money. Also, and I feel I might need to make this clear, you are still wanted for treason. If you try to return to any of the major cities, have it be known that the guards have your names, addresses, and descriptions. Well, they have your descriptions, and obviously your notoriety will precede you to a certain extent. It might be advisable for you to remain here until a certain amount of anonymity has been attained, and if you were to try and escape, you would struggle to avoid anonymity. So,
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Any questions?
Yeah. The what is the Red Hand about anyway?
Oh, I am a noble of small importance in these parts, and this is technically my keep. I am charged with maintaining a body of armed fighting men, and mercenaries are attracted to this kind of life. I assure you it is reasonably profitable.
what's the end game for this? Is it just purely money, or is there something else?
End game?
You want to accomplish?
Interesting.
Yeah, you know,
Garrett, how many people have ever asked?
event.
Garrett, how many people have ever asked about an end game? Probably none, my lord. Probably none indeed. Interesting.
What about an Infinity War?
I'm gonna start kicking you people in the shins.
That wasn't meant to be a reference. I was genuinely curious.
It is interesting. I suppose if I have an end game, it is to ensure my wealth and power long into my life. Beyond that, who knows? We certainly aren't affiliated with the local armies or the local towns and city ships. We are, of course, citizens of Bepalor, of course. But we are our own band, unless we are hired to be somebody else's band. Now, you will, of course, not have sought accommodation within Frandor's Keep as of yet, I believe.
No.
Most people in your position will be given rooms at a reasonable rate. This will, of course, be deducted from your effective wages, which we will, of course, keep to pay off your debt.
Yay.
Oh. I almost forgot. He brings out a key. And hands it to... Let me just roll the dice here. Hands it to Zwei.
Okay.
You may unlock yourself and speak to Garrett. He will show you where your rooms are and things. Feel free to explore the town, get your wounds healed. Once you are in suitable shape, I will have an assignment for you, I am sure. That will be all. Good day.
I'll unlock myself, the other two, and we'll leave.
I would suggest getting a change of clothes. You rather smell a bit. We do have minimum standards to maintain, of course. I'm sure Garrett can also loan you some clothing at a reasonable rate.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
All
Quite
about
so.
the money.
Quite
Jeez.
so. Quite so. Okay, you're let out of the office. At this point, session is more or less over, but I can do a proper breakdown of the Frandor's Keep and your experiences in it for the next session at that point. Can you just let me know what the highest level wounds you currently have are?
I think 8 and 5.
Aiden has 8 and 5.
Yeah, I have find it.
You have 2 and
I have a
something.
5 too.
Yeah, 5 and
I
2.
have a 2 and a 5.
Dylan?
I wasn't hit.
You weren't here. Okay, so that's fine. So the next session will take place in 15 days. You'll have basically 5 points of healed. So your wounds of 5 and 2 will have fully been wiped off. So wipe those off. Aegon, your wound is down to 3, but has 6 days remaining to heal.
Okay.
So wait, am I fully healed then?
You're fully healed. This is basically the next session will take part 15 days later after this point, and you'll have the ability to rest. For brief reference, you're given rooms in the barracks, which is basically this little bit here, which you'll be happy to hear are about half the size of the cells you were previously in, and about as dreary. In fact, actually, there are still iron bars everywhere. You have the keys to them, at a very reasonable rate, I'm sure. But yeah, the rules of the Frandor's Keep is that unless you are out on assignment or actively on assignment, no weapons that can't be concealed. That is the rule. No weapons that can't be concealed are allowed in the inner or middle bailey, which is basically the large courtyard area out here, except for training purposes, and the town itself, which is the middle bailey. No weapons at all. Well, no weapons that can't be concealed within there. You also, not that I'm basically going to show you it because I basically was working on this. This is the tavern, once I get you there, which was named randomly, unfortunately, but I decided to keep the name of. Yeah, I liked it so much I decided to actually keep it. So this is the Spinning Rooster Stick. Because why not? But yeah, we'll go through sort of the breakdown of where the various areas are, what you've found, areas you've not been allowed into for next session. So, experience points. for absolutely killing the Earl of Tremont, and also for killing one guard, defeating 2 others effectively. You can earn from that 186 experience points.
Sure.
It's our level 1 as well.
You are level 1, 186, which is almost halfway there. Dylan, you get 90% of that.
I was
because
for
no
that
Titan things.
now.
Round up. Alignment. There hasn't been too much really that's affected alignment, but I've really enjoyed the session. So you may all gain 2 points of honor as a default, and I will review the session and see if I need to apply any other things. MVP voting. Can you each secretly PM me who you feel was the MVP of the session? You may vote for yourself if you want.
Discord.
Yeah, Discord or whatever you want to do. I mean, you can send me random messages from there if you want to do it publicly. That's fine, but for ease of things, just that. So session MVP, fair enough. And yep, just waiting on Dylan.
I mean, I may have killed a guy, but I failed to hide.
Okay.
Handle broke on my dagger.
Alfonso, can you add 2 points of honor?
Oh.
And tell me what your new total is.
18, I think.
Okay, that's fine. Has anyone broken 20?
No.
No, okay. Then, so you're still in the same brackets, but that's just the half session that's done from there. Okay.
Actually,
yeah,
am I in a new bracket? Because I've gone up from 9 to 11.
Oh, you're now in average. So you now get a +1 to a dice roll once per session, or a +5 to a skill roll.
Okay.
As a free mulligan. I didn't go into the combat details of this a bit more, but obviously both Aegon and Sola have luck points that they can use until they level up. Those are automatic pluses to a dice roll, and you can roll and then choose to add those. Which, again, I could have reminded you during the session, but I didn't want to throw too much at you, but those are things that you will have for next session. Okay, so basically, next session will be Life in Frandor's Keep. I'll introduce anybody who joins us at that point, because obviously this is a fairly easy way to add new people into the session. Because, as you will soon discover, everybody, almost everybody, has or is in a contract with Traxos in this place. Except the mercenaries and things. They are all being screwed over. There's been basically 4 people that you know of who have ever successfully paid off their debt, and one of them is Jimmy the Shoe. Nobody knows entirely how. But yeah, I'll have a rumor bucket and various things set up for next session so that we can do that. Okay. Well, thanks for the session, guys. We will possibly do this next week. We'll see.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the combat actually went a lot smoother now that I've got all the macros and actually get how it works a little more, but I did not want to do all that with just random dice rolls where I could avoid it. Because there is a lot that goes wrong with it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty neat with how you can use the second counter. I guess it's just literally using the normal initiative, and you just have to manually update stuff, though, which
we would have to do. Yeah, I've got an API. Cool. I've got a script which is running to sort of adjust it. So second counter is sort of the top thing always, and it's adding things continually to other things.
Oh, okay. So you do some scripting, nice.
Yeah, it's a little script that just basically runs that and adds everything else to it. And I've got a bunch of macros at the bottom which are doing most of the other things. But yeah. Anyway, next session we'll actually see how you actually are on a mission and see how many of you die in the first one.
Oh god, hopefully none of us.
Well, given how I was expecting some deaths in that one, which I would have retconned admittingly. But again, I had to introduce you to the combat early because it is the most complicated part of this game in a lot of ways. Yeah. But against 3 armored guards and a guy who was basically the equivalent of a rogue, I was not expecting you to just treat it as a cakewalk almost.
How that 2 crits to the head killed
both of them. I thought it was bugged initially, but they were definitely 2 different rolls. So I know the severity goes up with the amount of damage it's done. I might have applied that wrong, but I'm still going to count it anyway. But yeah, critical hits are lethal in this game, as potentially are fumbles, as you may have noticed. One thing that didn't happen in the combat sort of explanation was near perfect defenses and things, but because you can get a crit on defense as well, which gives you a bonus. Basically, counterattack.
Counterattack, yeah.
Which is a thing that did kind of happen with the guards, but anyway. I will call that a thing, and I'll catch you all later because I need to go and make myself some dinner.
Yeah, fair enough.